Good afternoon. I'm excited to be here today to introduce Steve Yzerman as the new general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning. And over the last several weeks, I've met a number of extremely qualified candidates for the GM position. Really got to know a lot of terrific people, hardworking people who I thought would do great with the job here. Got to know Steve very well over the last several weeks. And upon getting to know him really well, talking to people in the industry, really came to the conclusion, very strong conclusion in my mind, that Steve is the right man to bring a winning culture back to Tampa Bay and also to build a world-class hockey organization here. And I know I've talked about over the last 2 or 3 months my vision for the Tampa Bay Lightning organization, making both the organization world-class on the ice, off the ice, in the community, having a great building here and a great fan experience for all our supporters. And again, as I got to know Steve well, and really the character of this man sitting next to me, and his hunger to win, and his thoughtful, intelligent approach to making decisions, I came more and more to the very clear conclusion that, again, he's the right guy for the job. As you know, Steve is a terrific competitor and a winner. He's been with the Red Wing organization for 27 years. He's won 4 Stanley Cups there, 3 as a player and 1 as in the front office. And he has all the characteristics that I've talked about that I and the Lightning organization are looking for. Leadership, integrity, hard work, loyalty, and as I said before, an intelligent, thoughtful, thorough approach to making decisions. The more Steve and I had conversations and discussed my vision for the Lightning organization, it became clear to both of us that my vision and his vision really intermeshed to a great degree, and we were both thinking about what we want to accomplish here in the very same manner. And again, that is building a world-class championship organization here for the long term. And I might add that the owner of the Detroit Red Wings, Michael Ilitch, purchased the team 28 years ago. Steve was their first draft pick the year after that for 27 years. And as I said, he's been there 27 years. And Steve and I have had several conversations over the last few weeks talking about how great it would be if 27 years from now, he and I are still working here and working hard on the Lightning and are, I'm the owner and he's the GM of a championship hockey organization. That's our goal here, to be sitting here 27 years from now. Importantly, Steve is going to be responsible for all decisions related to hockey. He has full reign. My decision was to hire this guy, and I have full confidence that he will make the right decisions to, again, accomplish the vision and bring us a great hockey team over a period of time and a great hockey organization, and he'll do it in the right manner with character and integrity. Steve will be reporting to me, and again, though, he will be making all hockey-related decisions. I've had to make this one decision, and again, as I've gotten to get to know him, it's been a slam dunk from my perspective. I just want to circle back to one other thing just briefly, talk about hiring philosophy. As many of you may know, previously I said I would hire the CEO before I would hire a general manager. And I had started searching for a GM, and my intention was to hire a CEO first, and that was the plan. What has transpired over the last several weeks is I've met Steve, gotten to know him well, had a lot of discussions with him, and really had to come to the conclusion that this was the right guy for the job, and even though the CEO hire has not been made yet, for the good of the Lightning organization, it was clear that Steve Yzerman should be hired as the general manager right now. The CEO search is still ongoing. It is progressing very, very nicely. We're still within the time window that I talked about a few weeks ago about hiring both the GM and the CEO, and I look forward to having exciting news to share with you in the upcoming weeks there. But enough of that. Let me introduce you to the new general manager of the Tampa Bay Lightning, Steve Yzerman.
Thank you very much. I'm extremely excited to be here in Tampa Bay. Throughout my playing career and into my first 4 years of retirement, I always had a goal to run a hockey team. I'm thrilled today that Jeff has shown the confidence in me to offer me this opportunity to share his vision in building a hockey team, an organization here in Tampa Bay, one that the community, sports fans, everyone in the Tampa Bay area will be proud of and excited to follow. As Jeff said, we had several lengthy phone calls, discussions in person, on the telephone, and in my decision to accept his offer came in light of those conversations. I know we have a good understanding on the challenges that lie ahead, on the goals that we have, and the idea of how we want to reach those goals. I'm leaving behind a very successful organization in the Detroit Red Wings, and I'm very grateful for everything they did for me over my playing career and my 4 years in retirement. In those 4 years, I was able to learn from one of the most successful and best management teams in hockey. This, I know, has prepared me for the job that lies ahead here in Tampa Bay. I intend to review every aspect of the hockey operations and make the necessary changes to assure that the Lightning are efficiently, professionally, and successful over the long run. My goal is to provide the proper environment for our coaching staff, our players, our trainers, to develop our young players, our prospects, to give our current players, our veteran players, every opportunity they can to be successful. This is a long-term project for me. I believe building a Stanley Cup caliber hockey team takes time. Changes have been made in the Lightning organization and will be made over the course of time. There is no easy fix. I don't sit up here with the notion that I can wave a magic wand, make changes, and we're a Stanley Cup contender. I believe my intention is to improve the Tampa Bay Lightning immediately for the upcoming season, but with a long-term goal of making this a perennially strong team that can compete and contend on an annual basis. That takes time, and Jeff and I, in our discussions, have an understanding of what needs to be done and a general process for how that will be done. Like I said, there's a lot of work to be done, not only to get ready for this year, but to start building this organization into one that can be successful in the long term. I really look forward to the challenge of building this franchise into one that the Tampa Bay community can be really proud of, and a successful relationship here in Tampa Bay. So once again, I'm very excited to be here. I thank you all for attending, and I look forward to the challenges that lie ahead. I look forward to your questions here as well as my first challenge.
Steve Eric Erlandson from the Tampa Tribune. First of all, how difficult of a decision was it to leave an organization that you've been with for 27 years? And secondly, is there a pecking order of what you want to get accomplished first?
First off, you know what? It was very difficult to leave the Red Wings. I've been there my entire career, and I was very safe there. I was surrounded by good people that really protected me and looked after me. We had a lot of success. That's my home, where my children were born. So this is a major decision, one I've thought about for a long time. And really early in retirement, being involved with Hockey Canada and involved with the World Championships and at the Olympics and whatnot, being around Ken Hall and Jim Nill, Ryan Martin in our front office, it reaffirmed that this is a career path I want to take. I really enjoyed being a part of it, and I look forward to it. So over the last couple of years, it's given me thought. I understand the situation in Detroit, that they had a very, very successful, very good group, a management group there, and I realized very early, if I want to run a team one day, in all likelihood that I would have to leave. So I've kind of prepared for this, but the last few weeks I've done a lot of thinking, a lot of discussion with my wife on what we want to do, and are we sure we want to do this, and after speaking with Jeff, I was pretty certain that this is a great opportunity for me to take, and it's time for me to take the opportunity to seize it and go. So it was a difficult decision, but I look forward to it. I look forward to the opportunity. It's a chance to do something I've always wanted to do. And I guess the second part of your question, The last 2 weeks have gone by pretty quickly, and Jeff and I have just discussed general vision for the organization and where we'd head today after this announcement. It gives me a chance to meet some of the staff that are here. I intend to leave immediately tomorrow to get to Toronto for the scouting combine where all of our amateur staff is, and just get a chance to sit with them and discuss get to know them a little bit, discuss the upcoming draft. So I really want to take this day by day. It's a chance now over the next couple of days to kind of get my act together, to get organized, to see where the organization stands, to see what everybody's doing, get a feel for some of the things, and then plot the course of action from here. Excuse me.
Hey, Steve. Damian Cristodero, St. Pete Times. Well, you talk about the back and forth, trying to decide whether this was the right place to be. What was finally the tipping point for you? I mean, what kind of put you over the edge and said, yes, I'm gonna take this chance?
Well, I don't know if there's one specific, but it was the conversations that Jeff and I had, and with each conversation we had from our initial one, I'm not sure if intrigued is the right word, but I found it more interesting and more something that, hey, I like this, and we'd have a second conversation, and more questions, more thoughts would arise, and with each conversation that Jeff and I had, I thought, I like his plan. This is somebody that I think I would enjoy working for. He, in my opinion and my knowledge of being in the game, I believe Jeff has a complete understanding of what needs to be done here, and I like his approach to running this team. And I thought, that I became convinced that this is a person I want to work with. I've played in the Tampa market. I watched the team win a Stanley Cup here. I've watched this building be full, and I think running a good program again and a successful hockey team, this will be a very vibrant market and a place that I would enjoy working for an owner or a boss that I will enjoy working for, and we share the same philosophy. So it wasn't one specific moment or thing. It was just a series of conversations, and then after those conversations, sitting back, thinking about it, talking to my friends within hockey, getting their thoughts, picking their brain, and then making my decision ultimately.
Chip Carter, Fox 13. A question for both you and Jeff. We've heard a lot about world-class organization and the outline of what the parameters are. Can both of you be a little bit more specific now that, Jeff, you've had some weeks here with the organization and getting it up and running in terms of what we can expect from this partnership?
Great. Building a world-class organization, in broad terms, something that everybody in this community and everybody within the organization can be proud of. It means we have high standards for integrity. It means there's self-respect between people. It means we work very hard. On the hockey side, the same values will be transmitted on the hockey side as on the business side, as well as throughout the community. As I've gotten to know Steve and just learned about him, I've realized just the integrity of this man, and that he just shares those values and the same way of doing things the right way. I've come quickly to learn that that's what he's all about, and that's what I'm trying to accomplish here. So to make this world class, I think you have to have world class people all the way. Hopefully, hopefully I can hire a CEO and a GM and Steve who are a lot more world class than I am, and we'll be off. And they'll try to hire world class people too throughout, and then we'll be off in a good direction.
If I could add to that, I believe in sports, and I don't just follow hockey. I follow all the sports successful franchises. I always have. I really believe it starts with how you treat people, and it's treating people with respect and being honest with people and straightforward. We will have high demands. Jeff Vinik has high expectations for this organization from me, and that will transcend through the organization. I intend to. My goal is to put a driven, determined coaching staff together that in turn can give our players the proper environment to win. So to build, whether it's a world-class organization, a first-class organization, a successful organization, it's going to be one that is responsible, treats people properly. That includes within the organization, within the community. Is a hard-working organization, people that live well, that have character. Again, there's no secret recipe here. We're not going to whip out anything that's really, it's very methodical, and it's going to be handling things the right way, doing it the right way, bringing in people with passion for hockey, players with passion for hockey, and making them accountable and holding them accountable.
Steve, Tom Corin with ABC here. The player that you were and what you stood for when you went on the ice, is that what you're going to demand from the players that are going to play under you?
Well, I think that's what we're going to demand from the whole organization. For me as a player, it was a learning process. I think I played for 22 years, and there was a lot of ups and downs in my career, and I learned a lot through success and through failure. So I think over the course of time, I look back, and there's a lot of things I definitely would have done differently, but I think you got to go through some of those experiences. So again, we're going to give our players, our coaching staff, our players, our scouting staff, we're going to provide them with the environment, everything necessary, what I believe is necessary, what Jeff believes is necessary to be successful. And absolutely, we are going to push them and demand the best from them, but also they're going to be treated with respect. And you know, it is a process, and with our younger players, with our veteran players, we're gonna try and change things a little bit. And I only know from what I've heard, from what I've read about the past. I have my own ideas on how a team is going to be run, and I get an opportunity now to execute those ideas. But again, the most successful athletes, the most successful people I've learned, and regardless of your field, is they're driven, they're surrounded by good people, and they're given the opportunity to be successful, and that's what we intend to do. But our demands will be high, but they will be realistic.
Hello, Steve. Welcome to town. Over here, Whitney Johnson from 620 WDA. A two-part question. First of all, what does this team need to do to return to the playoffs? And have you made a decision on a head coach yet? Or are you thinking about that?
Certainly thinking about the head coach, but really, again, just literally starting my first day on the job. Over the last couple of days has given me an opportunity to think about potential candidates, who's out there, and my intention is over the next few days, really just with the scouting, the amateur draft coming up, the scouting combine, to go there and really to gather information and put together my list, I guess, of potential coaches. That is the one part of your question, and I'm sorry, I've already forgotten the second part.
What does this team need to do to return to the playoffs?
Well, again, without necessarily being specific, I think last year's team finished, 6 points out of a playoff spot. The Philadelphia Flyers made the playoffs on the last night of the season in a shootout. And now we're in the Stanley Cup Finals. And I think also that on the other hand, the Tampa Bay Lightning finished 6 points out of having the third pick in the draft as well. So the point I'm trying to make is there's not a huge difference between making the playoffs and having success in them and not making them. The league, the parity is a word you'll hear regularly used. The league is a lot closer. Teams have an opportunity. Obviously, we want to try and improve upon last year's team, but in doing that, we have a long-term goal, and that's to build this team, improve upon the foundation to make sure that we can be successful going forward, not just next year, years following that. So how do you do that? I believe, in my experience in hockey and in watching other sports, is you have to draft well. You have to develop your young players well, and that means being patient with them. So where we have to start with our management team. We have to draft better. We have to be better at signing particular free agents. We have to be more astute at signing our own players or keeping our own players. And so it's a long, I think, process that is very methodical, and it's not again, it's not a one-year fix here. Again, my goal is to improve the Lightning. Obviously, you want to improve every year, try and make it better, try and make the playoffs. The playoffs are incredibly exciting. It's an opportunity to gather more fans, to grab onto them, for people to fall in love with the game and improve your team. And also, it is a business, so our goal is to try to make the playoffs, but the long-term plan is to draft well, to develop well, to be more astute at signing free agents, to be more astute at signing our own players. It's a very methodical process, but again, I'm trying to build this team for long-term success, but also keep it competitive in the interim.
Steve, Travis Bell from CBS back here.
Yes.
Two questions. First, do you need to have a coach in place before the draft? And second question, from looking at this team from the outside, what do you like most about this team?
Do I need a coach before the draft? No, I don't think there's a particular timetable for that. I think heading into unrestricted free agency or the free agency period on July 1, ideally, you'd like to have a coach in place by that time. I'm not necessarily going to set a date here when it has to be done by. In the event things you don't really know the course of over the course of time how the process will go, but certainly my intention is to get to work right away and figure out who the right people are. And obviously through my experiences the last few years, I know some people that are available, and I know of some young potential coaches that may be available. So I've got to get to work on that. What am I excited about the Tampa Bay Lightning? I think you've got a group of outstanding veteran players that are proven winners that have won here in Tampa and have been successful, and you've got a group of young players as well that have just entered the NHL in the last couple of years. So I think there's a nucleus of players that can make this a successful team, can make it a good team right now, but most importantly, there's a core of players that you can build around for the future and be successful going forward.
John Jordan, HockeyBuzz.com. Steve, welcome to Tampa and congratulations.
Thank you.
The question's for Mr. Vinik, though. Mr. Vinik, how quickly did Steve's name come up on your radar? And am I correct in assuming that he probably was mentioned by several of the people whom you consulted with?
You know, hockey is a small community, and really when I thought back over the last several months and a lot of discussions, many names came up, and Steve was one of the names certainly, and obviously a highly respected name. What really, though, evolved over time as I met a number of outstanding candidates, all of whom I think would do a great job here, every one of them. And as Steve and I went on over a time, as I said, I guess both of us got more comfortable that we shared the same vision, the same methodology for accomplishing things. And frankly, if you listen to the way Steve talks and thinks, you know, this isn't all flash and you come in here and things are changed. I like the way he's thinking about building this team, which is methodically and thoughtfully, and I'm sure that he approaches all aspects of his life that way, and it was very comforting as I got to know him about the way he makes decisions. I think that's a winning way of doing things.
Steve, Paul Porter with ESPN Radio. Can you give us a glimpse into the style of team that you would like to see on the ice, whether it be physical or finesse or speed, and how much of an effect would that have on the coach that you hire?
Well, I think in the short term, the style you play is really dictated by the players that you have. You know, I could come in and say we're going to play this way or that way. The reality is, in the short term, the coach is going to try and win games and develop a style of play or a game plan to win tonight's game and to win immediately. That's what coaches do. They want to win now. Ultimately, on the coach himself, I think there's a philosophy that we'll have to share, and I want to make sure I have the right person. What I'm looking for in a head coach is a strong leader, someone that will make decisions. I will hire him to coach the team, much like Jeff is giving me the responsibility to oversee the hockey operation. I'm going to hire a coach to coach the hockey team. I'm not coaching the team. So I'm looking for a strong leader, a guy who's been a head coach, who's had success at some levels, and really eventually it comes down to you know, what type of team do I want to have in the long run. You need skilled players. You need skilled players. You need guys who compete hard. All these other things, whether it's toughness, whether it's defense, you need a balance on your team. You need all those things at the end of the day. So how do we get that? We have to draft them. We have to develop them. And we have to be astute in whether it be through trade or through free agency to acquire those players. So Stanley Cup champions, teams that win in the long run, teams that are exciting, fun to watch. They have skilled players. They, you know, to win now, you need speed. You need all those elements. Some of the things that you bring up is balance, but it takes time to acquire all those things. But again, we'll have a coach. My intention is to put a coach in place that has experience as a head coach and shares a philosophy that I have.
Steve, Mike Pepper with 1010 WQIK right over here, sorry. You mentioned there that you had an opportunity to, or you talked to people about the foundation of this team. Now, with some of the veterans that you have and maybe some of the younger players, have you had a chance to talk with these guys yet? I know it's just probably less than 24 hours since that decision's been made, and if so, what are you kind of looking for in them to try and figure out what you need to do in the future?
Well, both Marty and Todd are here today. Had a chance to meet them briefly before. It's my intention over the course of the next couple of weeks is to talk to every player on the team, every player that is coming back to the team under contract with the team. One, I want to share with them my vision. I think when there's change, there's uncertainty, and in all aspects, people will be wondering, what are we doing? Where are we going? And it's important with our players that they understand, and I speak with them quickly and let them know what my plan is to start with, what I'm doing, and really let them know where they stand at this time. And also, these guys are smart guys. I can learn a lot from them and listen and talk to them about what they want to do, what their plans are, what their goals are, short term, long term, and really figure this out. This is my first day here. I know the players. A lot of them I don't know personally, but I know what they've done on the ice and what they can do on the ice, and I have expectation for them all. This gives me, these next few weeks is a chance to, not just the players, but everyone in the organization, to gather information, to figure out who does what in some areas and who everyone is, and go from there. It's just going to be a day-to-day process, but I look forward to speaking with all the players. I've got a lot to learn.
Steve, Dave Britton, Yahoo. Obviously, you've been a vital cog in the Red Wings organization, and they're going to sorely miss you. So how difficult will it be for you if you find someone within the Red Wings organization that you find that fits in with your plans?
Well, it's a great organization, great people. I really, in the last 4 years, I've really learned a lot and really enjoyed being around the management of the team. Whether it be within, I've got a lot of friends around the game, a lot of players that I played with, people that I've worked with, that I've gotten to know well, and whether it be the Red Wings or any other organization, if I have an inkling or a thought that I'd like to possibly bring one of those people with me, whether it's the Red Wings or someone else, I will call the organization and ask for permission to speak with them and see if they would fit or like to come, and if they're a fit. But the one thing about the people that I worked with there, I know they're very good, and they're good people, and if the opportunity were right and the fit is there, I'd love to work with them. But I don't have an intention. I have a great relationship with Ken Hall and with Jim Nill, with Ryan Martin, our scouting staff. Great relationship, and I've learned a lot from them. But by no means do I expect to raid the Red Wing front office and bring them all down here. They're not going to let that happen, and I understand that. But having said that, they saw an opportunity for me here in Tampa, and they were very supportive of me coming to Tampa Bay. And they're not holding anybody back in their organization that wants to further their career. But once again, all around hockey, there's people that I've thought about, well, he'd be good in this role or be good in that role. And it's my intention to, in some cases where they're currently employed, that I would ask for permission to speak with them and see if there's an interest on their behalf.